So recently I've been noticing a trend where like there are like a lot of Chinese girls or a noticeable number of Chinese girls who are like getting like their skin tanned. So like today I was hanging out with a girl and like she had the same color skin as me, maybe a little bit like could be a little bit lighter, maybe darker, I don't know. But basically like they're getting these kind of tans now. It's a niche, but it's definitely growing. Like, tanning salons are getting popular here in China. I've been noticing it. And it's like pretty, basically like they see a mix of stuff now. And like there are a lot of Chinese people, like young Chinese people, they love hip hop. They love rap. So like in China, like the rap industry is really big. So they have lots of images of black people. And generally speaking, like rap, it does, for the most part, it is a positive image. Like it does make black people seem cool for the most part. There is some kind of, negative aspects to it, but for the most part, rap music gives kind of a positive impression of black people, makes us seem cool and attractive in some way. So it does help us. So there are like a lot more growing media influences where it's like, hey, like black people, we see them in this kind of cool aspect. Yeah, but social media, whenever I meet a Chinese girl who has Instagram, usually it's a bad sign. Like, I don't know what it is. Like maybe like a Chinese girl who has Instagram, she's like I don't know what she's looking at, but usually those types of women, they might have some kind of feminist ideal. I'm not against feminism. I'm not against it, but basically I think there are different definitions of feminism, and sometimes the girls who get their information from Instagram or something, their ideas might not be 100% thought through. Like it might like not be what you want to have as a girlfriend.
So do you think, for example, in Pattaya, the American expats, especially the black ones, they stay in their own circle. I pretty much don't see them hang out with locals at all. I don't think I've ever really seen that over there. And they pretty much pass around the same group of like 20 women, it seems like. Do you think that impacts their dating opportunities with them staying in their own circle? Do you think that they can't adjust to get a real 9 in Thailand or whatever country they're in?
So this is something it's not just specific to Pattaya. This is specific to like places where there's a high concentration of foreigners. If you're in a place where there's a high concentration of foreigners, like there's like a foreigner nightclub where a lot of foreigners hang out at, you're gonna generally see that a lot of guys, like, it's like the same women, like a woman, like she gets passed around by all the foreigners at some point. Like there are women like that. Like, you go to a foreigner club, those women, they've been going to the foreigner club for years. Like every year there's like a fresh crop of foreigners that come in, and the women, they jump on them because they've been doing it for years. Like those women are experts at like, hooking up with foreigners. And I think almost every city that has a major concentration of foreigners, they have those types of women who just like they smash all the foreigners. So it's not specific to Pattaya, but I will say that based off what I've heard, for black men and what I've seen, is like we don't really have a good reputation in terms of like, spending money on women or treating them the best. And I've heard that does negatively affect some people. Like for example, Pattaya, you gotta put up some money. If you ain't putting up money, the girl isn't interested a lot of times. And if she thinks that black men are cheapskates, she might not even be interested in giving you the time of day. So, yeah. So I forgot the original question. It was like something about, does that limit us or something?
Yeah, does it limit us? But let me ask you this too. Do you think being black is automatically a limit on what you can get?
I will say for some women, there are some women who like if they're gonna look, here's what you guys gotta understand. Most women would prefer to date a guy of their own race. But I think most women, they would prefer to date a guy who he comes from the same culture as me, same race, same language. Like there's, it takes more work to date a foreigner. Usually the girls who want to date a foreigner, like who prefer, like I only date foreigners. I don't date local guys. Usually those are the types of women who like they got rejected by their local men for some reason. Like maybe like their body type or their look just wasn't very attractive, or there's just something about them that a local guy would not find attractive. That's usually what I see, like for those women who say, like, no, I don't date local guys. I hate them. Usually those women, they got rejected by those guys, and then they just date foreigners because they know foreigners think they're more beautiful, or they feel like they can get a better deal with foreigners.
Like me.
Um,
That sounds like me. That sounds
yeah.
like
What do you
me.
mean?
I only date foreign women, foreign only.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's working out for you. You know, it's working out for you. Like sometimes it can be a blessing. Like I think a lot of girls like they realize like, hey, they got rejected by local guys, but there might be like a good looking like foreign guy who can like fly them out, give them a lot better treatment than they could get from a local guy. Yeah. So, bro, I keep forgetting the question, bro. I don't know why I keep doing it. I keep rambling and I forget the original question.
The original question was, does being black put a limit on you? You think automatically?
Oh, yeah. There are some women who like, okay, if they're gonna date a foreigner, they might only date a white guy because like a white guy is what they grew up seeing in the media. Now, you might be able to change that. So, for example, like we talked about Game, if you're able to hit the woman's emotions, you might be able to like change her initial impression of like, oh, I only came to the club looking for a white guy, but this black guy, women change their mind all the time, y'all. Like women say stuff all the time, like, oh, I only date guys who are like 6'4", but then you look at their baby daddy, he's like 5'4", not very handsome. It's like, women say stuff all the time. And really, like, if you know how to work the woman's emotions, you can get past that kind of barrier. But there are some women who are like, nope, I'm not dating a black guy, or I'm not dating a guy whose skin tone is like darker than this or whatever. There are women like, but everybody has their own preferences, right? Generally speaking, Asia, there are going to be a higher percentage of women who prefer dating white guys or guys with lighter skin or something. But I think there's still enough women over here where you can get satisfied. I feel like there's enough women, like, especially if you know how to cold approach. If you know how to cold approach and you have like decent game and you're just a decent looking guy, you're in the gym or something, you're pretty clean cut. If you speak the language, if you know how to make the girl laugh, you can get a lot of action over here.
Okay. I can we can come back to that one. So what do you think that the local men in these other countries think about Americans dating their women?
I think the way they see it more as foreigners dating their women. So I've noticed, like, when I'm on Chinese social media, Chinese social media is very toxic. Like pretty much everybody on social media, like Chinese social media, they get attacked. Like I saw like a beautiful Chinese woman, and she was kind of dating like a not very attractive Chinese guy. And in the comment section, like they had a baby together, and all the people in the comment section, there's always like these negative hate comments, like, "Oh, she's just dating him because he's rich." Da da da. So Chinese social media is kind of negative in that aspect. But I have noticed, like, okay, if it's like a Chinese girl dating a black guy, there's always going to be someone. If the black guy, like, if you're like a really good looking black guy, there you might get less hate. But if you're like not a good looking black guy, or your skin is like super dark, there's going to be some negative hate comments, some races. But if it's like a